politics bore us to tears.
Hello and welcome to France 24's weekly music show. We'll be taking you through some of the new releases this week, as well as spring being now in full swing. We'll have a look at festival season that's upon us with the Printemps de Bourges, France's first spring music festival. But first, a band who is celebrating 2 decades of ska punk with the world tour. They're famous for hits such as Ghost Town and Message to You, Rudy, and recently released their new album Encore. Lynval and Horace Panter from The Specials popped by France 24 when they played Paris recently, and we had a delightful chat.
Hello, we're The Specials, and you're watching France 24.
Don't wanna be rich, don't wanna be famous, and I really hate to have the same name as you.
Absolute pleasure to have 2 members of The Specials with us today. 40 years career, and you're on a tour to celebrate that, and a first studio album in 20 years. What was it like getting back in the studio for the 3 of you?
Oh God, it was absolutely fun. It was so much. Because don't forget, we've got so many times to that pass by that let us grow as individuals and not the egos and the youngsters and the when you're young you're always right, and you only realize that you're not always right when you're much older, so that way you mellow. So it's been a wonderful time, wonderful experience. Making this record was absolutely fantastic.
Now, the album's called Encore, kind of like our show. I'd like to thank you for, calling it after this wonderful show that you watch every week, obviously. Yes. When you first emerged in the late 70s, early 80s, Margaret Thatcher was coming to power. Socially and economically, Britain was pretty grim. And nowadays, you're back, and what's happening, Brexit, far-right parties, racism is kind of seems to be showing its ugly face openly again. Is that a wordplay as well on the fact that there's a bit of a cycle going on?
When Mark and I got the idea together for Embarrassed by You, the whole idea behind that was literally, how can you vote to come out of Europe when we're united now? It doesn't make any sense.
Issues that were prevalent in 1979 are here again 40 years later. Yeah, it has been noticed.
We never found no freedom, but nothing little rules like you to come and do the work we do. You bring shame on this country for true. Embarrassed by you.
Some people feel that maybe in the 60s and 70s, when there was like rebellion, and 80s as well, this led to a lot of creativity. Do you think this is going to happen with this generation?
Yes, I'm sure it will, but I think it will be a different kind of creativity than we experienced in the 60s and 70s. Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be a lot more technologically based, and have a lot more to do with that. But I don't know, it hasn't happened yet, so I'm quite looking forward to seeing what creations come out of it.
And also kids have access to more choice of wider range of music, which you'd have to know the person back in the day. I also noticed in your album you've got lovely covers in this new record, notably the Equals. How did you choose those? Did you cover those?
Everyone brought a cover. I was listening to a lot of old Trojan reggae stuff, and I heard Blam Blam Fever by the Valentines, and I thought, oh, OK.
Did you read the news? I'm a bit confused.
I remember back in the days, when the Equals had Baby come back at #1, and I thought, my God, I would love to have green hair like that. I'd have to have pink hair, because they were so bright and everything. And I want to play in a band like that, And I had the chance to meet Derv, the lead singer, in Seattle, and he called me and says, someone told me that one of the Specials are here, and I said, are you in the audience? I said, yes, and I walked out, and it was like a dream come true. Actually, when I sang back in vocal, Baby Come Back,
Baby come back. Baby come back.
The Equals was one of the first multiracial band, so that was a really big influence on me,
You've covered oldies, but you've also got a new addition to the band, temporarily or occasional, and it's a really cool girl. She made headlines across the world after this photo went viral of her facing off far-right extremists in Birmingham, Saffiyah Khan, who has joined you on stage and actually takes part in one of the tracks, which is called...
Yeah, she does 10 Commandments.
10 Commandments.
Exceptionally well, I must say.
Very, very good.
Now they catcall me on the street, but thou should take note that I'll catcall you right back. To tell you that you look pretty sexy too, in your joggers or your suit.
Tell us about how that came about.
Well, as you said, it was just through like that photograph that of her went viral during the EDL rally in Birmingham. And obviously, you know, she had a wonderful shirt on with an amazing title there. The name was, that's special across the shirt. And somebody rang me from New Zealand and said, want to do an interview in New Zealand about a girl from Birmingham. And I said, what? And then, oh, this is strange. And then, obviously, with the wonderful world of the internet, searched out, and there she was. I said, ah.
We originally thought, we listened to the 10 Commandments of Man by Prince Buster, which has not travelled very well over the years, shall we say. And we thought, OK, let's update this. So we had a go at sort of rewriting it for the 21st century. And it was it didn't come over that well. It just ended up like a comedy record, really. But then we thought, OK, what about if we turn the whole thing on its head and we do the 10 Commandments of Women? And, I know this girl in Birmingham, you know, she could do this. So we contacted Saffiyah.
That's amazing.
It's also good because she brings the median age of the band down to like 55.
And the statesmen of Scar.
He stands accused of being socially inept. Some say rude, aloof, devoid of any real truth. He lives in a world of self-doubt, self-pity, self-loathing, self-harm.
We did talk, obviously, about the fact that it's a bit grim politically across the world at the minute, but not all is bad. There's been some changes that have been relatively positive. One I can think of, and there's still work to do, is the fact that people now address psychological issues. In your new album, it's one of the topics. Is it the first time that the Specials touched on such a delicate, tough topic? And
We'd always written about songs that were kind of challenging. You know, it wasn't like we were, you know, OK, Chuck Berry, you know, Cars, Girls, you know, did OK for him. But this was the Specials, and it came out of punk rock, which was about disaffection and, you know, disenfranchisement and all that sort of stuff. So it seemed as something that we could address.
This record, it's about all of us having a conversation with each other, talk to each other, not shout at each other, you know? That's where we are right now, you know? Is having people, communicating with people.
The Specials, who are currently touring the UK, but will be heading across the Atlantic at the end of May before returning to Europe for a festival season. Now, talking of festivals, France's Printemps de Bourges is on this week in the normally sleepy central French city. It's a great festival to discover new acts from across the world whilst enjoying some major players. This year's theme is folk music with acts like Beirut, Nouvelle Vague, Rodrigo y Gabriela. But don't worry, there's also plenty of hip-hop and punk rock, like this young Australian band, Emil and the Sniffers. Emil and the Sniffers, who are playing the Printemps de Bourges this week, and the style of the singer kind of reminds me of the Runaways' Cherry Curry. Now, your social media feeds may be full of images from Coachella, where larger-than-life Lizzo shared the stage with Janelle Monáe. The Texas-born artist has in recent months become a strong ambassador for body positivity, and one that includes everyone. She's happy to flaunt her curvaceous body, saying she wants to normalise the way we see the female body. This week, she's releasing releasing her third album on a major record label entitled 'Cause I Love You, on which you'll find infectiously groovy tracks and a cool rocky collaboration with her idol Missy Elliott. Let's check out the first banger from that new album, Juice. Sassy Lizzo there, who will be touring Europe in May, including Paris's Alhambra on the 25th. Now, staying with urban music, but this time we head to the UK, where Loyle Carner is releasing his second album entitled Not Waving But Drowning. It's an emotional journey for the 24-year-old South Londoner who, amongst others, writes about having ADHD, that's attention deficit hyperactive disorder, which he has described as the best and worst in him. A beautifully mellow album, Loyle Carner will set off on a European tour on the 27th of April. He'll be playing Paris's Point Éphémère on May 14th. And that's it for this week's show. Remember, you can follow all our culture news on France 24's website. Do follow Encore on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. But for now, we'll leave you with this track taken from Loyle Carner's new album. It's called Otelengi. Just up in a second, we'll have the France 24 news.
But she was dreaming, reckon she's standing with her mum, second to her, look, mother, here's the sun, rooted in the moment till the memories are done. So I sit and start to wonder on the woman she'll become. Wonder if I had a son or a daughter, ones that I brought up never strong, never telling me to run, never trying to find a sum, trying to get it done. Yo, I wonder if she'd ever be as clever as her mum. One.
Born and raised, made attempts to crawl away, find a way to exist and hide your face, some relate, leave everything in yesterday.